All right. All right. Shalom, Yasha'Allah. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, who I learned this truth from. They are the real prophets and leaders of all Israel in these end times. All right. Showing you the correct way to salvation, which you're going to need in these coming days. All right. Shalom. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom to Akwaf in order, meaning you Israelite sisters that are in order, okay? And shalom to you Israelites on the highways and hedges, giving up your body as a living sacrifice. All right, in all sincerity and in truth, shalom. And shalom to you Israelites scattered abroad that may look like these other nations, but you see, line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, making you a Hebrew Israelite, regardless of your appearance. Okay, so you can look like a so-called white man, Chinese man, or any other race of people that exists in the earth. Okay, it ain't about color, but if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, regardless of what you may appear to look like, you're a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, because it's about the chosen seed line. It ain't about color. Therefore, we're not the black Hebrew Israelites, as people like to call us, in error, without understanding. We're just the Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible coming back in our lot, okay, and declaring the downfall of this wicked kingdom in these end times, and ushering in, the deliverer, Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Yahushai is his Hebrew name, okay, and that's his true name, and that's the name that you need to call on for salvation. Acts 4, chapter 12. All right. All right, you see the title of the lesson. We won it. It's ours. That trips me up, man. Okay, because when I first came into this truth, I was watching all camps, and I came across a video that ISUPK did, right? And it was more entertaining than anything. It wasn't really edifying at all. It was just entertaining, because that's, what a lot of these other camps are about, entertainment. They don't really have a real understanding as to what this truth is about. And, back then I didn't either. I was watching a lot of camps, Wi-Fi, ISUPK, IUIC. I was watching all different camps, not knowing what I was involved in. And it was for entertainment. I loved how they cut Esau, put him in his place, called him the devil to his face out in public. That was beautiful to me to see that, because I had never seen that before. And I was shocked that they could get away with doing that on the internet, and it brought joy to my soul to see them do that, to stand up and have a backbone, right? But that is righteousness, standing up in the face of them that have afflicted us, all right? That's in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, okay, starting at verse 1. That's what the prophets will be doing in these end times, okay? But I've got a video speaking about ISUPK. I've got a video that I want to show you, and I want to speak on it. And I'm not playing this video to glorify ISUPK, because, we teach time and time again that they're a false camp, false prophets, that they're bugged out, that, some things they teach is correct, but they mix a lot of lies and false doctrine in, with their teachings and stuff, and they're leading a lot of people astray. But I want to speak about a specific video I came across when I first came in the truth, and I stumbled upon it the other day, and I thought, I might do a lesson on that, because they went off a little bit on the name of the Lord and the spirit they're in. And this was one of my favorites of ISUPK back in the day. And when I was immature in this truth. And, they're going in on Esau during Trump's first presidency, when he was first in office. So this is quite an old video, but they're going in on MAGA and you could just see the pride on MAGA. And they're still in that same spirit today now that Trump's back in office. Okay. And I want to show you how these people are proper doubling down on the fact that they stole America from the Native Americans, and they have no remorse about that. They are doubling down on their pride, their arrogancy, their wickedness, and the fact that they stole it and they think that that's okay. That's how it works. You just, if you defeat them and conquer their land, then you've won it. It's ours. Hence the title of the lesson, because that's pretty much the quote that they quoted in this video I'm about to show you. But I'm going to play this video and I'm going to pause it here and there, bring out a few scriptures, and that'll be that. Lord willing, it won't be too drawn out. And Lord willing, you find it edifying. So bear with me. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Make it full screen. And it's actually on YouTube, isn't it? We're going to start from about 6.5 minutes in. You can see the get rid of this real quick. Oops.
Hey, Native Indians where they're here.
All right, let's run back to about 6.5. And you can see the title. You can see the title here of the lesson, ISUPK, Washington, D.C. And, like I said, I'm not glorifying them in any way because they are a false count. They go off. So I don't want you getting confused when you see this and think that they're in the truth and that they're a count that you should follow or whatever. So don't get too entertained by this. This just happened to be one that tickled my fancy when I first came in, the truth. But I want to speak on it because there's certain points that he made and certain things I want to point out in this video that I want to bring to your attention and show you just the pride of Esau and the wickedness of what they did to the Gadites, the Native Americans, the tribe of Gad. And they're still in that spirit today with the oppression that they're doing upon the what they call immigrants, which are the mainly the northern tribe. How ICE is detaining them, deporting them, and they're cheering it on, okay, but only to their own demise, because all their wickedness is getting ready to come back upon them. But this is the title of this lesson here that they did. Not a lesson, but a video. And without further ado, check this out.
From Caucasian persuasion. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Will you stick around for 5 minutes? Who did you vote for? And don't be ashamed. Donald Trump. Trump. I applaud you. Why did you vote for Trump? Who's going to answer first? That's excellent. And he wants to... No. Hold on. Slow down. This ain't the Trump rally. Slow down. Getting a little too close. Go start the car. Hold on. All right? So Trump is in for white interest, right? Yeah. Describe to me, what is white interest? Law and order. Go ahead. Economic responsibility. Go ahead.
And see, they talk about law and order. They don't believe it. Esau don't keep no law, okay? He don't even keep his own laws, man, let alone the laws of the Lord. These people are hypocrites and liars talking about law and order. Only when it comes to their people, yeah? Because there's nothing but injustice in their corrupt court system when it comes to our people, man. And they don't care. They ain't fighting for us. These people are proud that they have the world, especially America. And, they're doubling down on their wickedness and their pride, man. But, little do they know it's all going to come back on them, man.
Free markets. Limited welfare. Okay.
Property rights.
Say again?
Property rights.
Property right. Damn, okay. Stop right there. That's enough. What's the first thing you said? Law and order. So white interest is law and order. So what is black interest or Hispanic interest?
Right.
Not law and order too?
In your community, sir. Law and order should.
He said in your community. So are you saying, okay, let's keep going. Economic, hold on, let me finish. Economic, what you said, wealth? So black and Hispanic interests ain't economic wealth also? How about property what?
Property rights.
Property rights. Property rights.
Yeah.
The North Dakota pipeline is on the rightful property of the native Indians. Say again?
They lost.
How?
Yeah, he made a good point. See, the North Dakota pipeline is on native land, but this guy with the blue shirt there, he was saying it's on private land. See, Esau, he came to America and colonized and committed genocide and stole the whole country through dirty trade deals and stuff like that, dirty treaties that he broke and stuff like that, and deception. And he's out here making all kind of land private land. Even when I here in the UK, I'm a delivery driver, and everywhere I go it's private property here, private property there. Can't drive up this driveway, can't do this, can't do that. That's what they do. They fence off everywhere, block it off, all this land, and you can't roam free around the world. He sets up borders, talking about private land, man. Says who? The Lord gave, every man his portion, and this man out here taking everybody's portion and saying it's mine now, because he's basically the world's bully. And his day is coming, man.
They lose.
Oh, they got their asses.
Wait, hold on. Describe to me the process, how they lost.
They got run the fuck over. They got run the fuck off their land. They got.
Did you hear that? The pride of Esau, man. He said they got ran the fuck off their land. He said, you have to excuse my French, I'm bringing it out raw and uncut. This man said they got run the F off their land. The guy in the black coat there on the far left. And you just look at the pride on these Edomites, man. That's the people that, that Trump is their president, okay? So all of our people that are, lost in the sauce, thinking Trump was going to make America great again. He wasn't making America great again for you. These are his people here, okay? He's got the spirit of Trump, fully implemented in these people, man. If that's for lack of better words, man. He's got the spirit of Trump, fully loaded in these people, man. They're all juiced up in the spirit of Trump.
That's how we do things? That's your law and order?
That's how it.
Wait, is that your law and order? Now these are friends. They hang out together. He said they got ran off. Oh, he's jumping ship.
No.
They will never admit that they're wrong, They can never see the wickedness in their own doings. They have a self-righteous God complex, as if, nothing they do is wrong. Everything they do is good. We won it fair and square. We ran them the F off their land. And okay, if I was to run up in your yard, in your house, and run your children off their land and run you off your land, tie you up, take your wife, steal your wife, is that okay for me to do that? See, Esau's logic is absolutely warped, It's because they're the children of the wicked, man. They can't see things in a righteous manner. Hence the reason why the Holy Scriptures is not for them. They're not a righteous people. They're not an upright people. They're wicked as hell. We're going to bring out a few scriptures, to back up all of this in just a few moments, man.
Oh, you're met tonight. Listen.
See, these gang of Edomites are all in the same spirit. Apparently, they said they met tonight, and they just clicked right off the back because they're coming in the spirit of Trump. You're going to hear the brother from ISUPK Well, I say that word loosely, talk about brother, but you're gonna hear the guy from ICPK say, "Ah, the spirit of Trump brought you together." I found that quite funny, man.
Give Trump a hand. The spirit of Trump brought you all together, and that's beautiful. Now, go ahead.
It's not our place to tell you what's good for your interest. Right, you have your own interest.
But hold on, but 400 years ago it was your place. It was your place. Hey, brother, you don't move from there, brother. Brother, don't move. Hey, brother. Hey, brother. Brother, don't even worry about it. Brother, don't even worry about it. Don't.
You see how wicked Eve is? The Lord had to throw that in the mix just to show you how put a demon on these women just to show you how they are, man. Disrespecting, man. The man's in a wheelchair, right? And yeah, he's blocking the path a little bit, but they're being hella disrespectful. I think one of them pushed his head, talking about move the F out the way, right? And kudos to the brother from ICPK for defending the guy, because he was in the right, when he said that. I'm gonna run it back just a little bit.
Hey, brother, you don't move from there, brother. Brother, don't move. Hey, brother. Hey, brother. Brother, don't even worry about it. Brother, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it, brother. You stay right there. Let them walk around you. Because if it was Trump standing there, they would never do that to him. You stay right there and you listen. Let everybody walk around you. You ain't gotta move. Now listen, hold on. Let me finish with you. Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes. No, you're about 60 years too late to dictate the time. Give me 2 minutes. So listen. White interest and making your country great again is all good. And I applaud you, even though I don't like your method being run off.
He said, yeah, and that's what we're doing, talking about making America great again. Keep in mind, this was during Trump's first term, when he was first in office. Is America great again? How's that going for you maggots, man? You people have no idea what's going on. You're through and you're about to become a victim of what's coming, man. Okay, because the Lord is not dealing with you people. You're unwise. You don't have a clue what's going on because you're ungodly. Okay, so you're lost in the source. You have no hope in what's coming. You're going to get slaughtered.
Because if we really get to run people off, we know who would win.
That's historical.
But hold on. And they didn't run anybody off. They invited the chiefs of those Native Indian tribes to meetings, and they did not obey the terms of the meetings and said the Native Indians were absent and took that to steal the land. That's what happened. That's the official report. Now hold on.
Yeah, they didn't keep the terms and conditions, because they're covenant breakers, man. They're treaty breakers. Look at this. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. It says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Weren't the Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, weren't they at peace with the so-called white man when he hit the shores of America? Showed them how to grow crops, to sustain themselves, to feed themselves, taught them how to live off the land, treated them with kindness, welcomed them. And do natives ever get the same treatment, or any type of foreigner at that? Do they get the same treatment when they come to an Edomite country, which, they claim America is theirs, but it ain't? But when a foreigner comes to the shores of America seeking refuge or whatever, how do they get treated? Get out of our country. Stop taking our benefits. Even when they come legally the right way and ICE detains them and all that, they cheer it on. They just don't want you anywhere near them, okay? They want to enjoy what they stole in peace, but it don't work that way, okay? So Psalms 55:20 says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, see? And it's all documented in the scriptures, because what you did, you Edomites, you so-called white people, what you did was so wicked that it is biblical. And there's a punishment coming for that. You're not going to ride off into the sunset and get away with what you've done, not only to our people, but to the earth itself. You've made life an unbearable place to live for everybody, even your own people, man. It says he have broken his covenant, because they're treaty breakers, man. These people don't keep no covenants. Okay, don't keep no treaties. Okay, because these people are wicked. They're not upright. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, his mind. He always thinks about how to overthrow you. He comes all humble, like he's here to help you, like he's your friend, but you can never trust your enemy, the Bible says. What's that? Sirach 10. Let's grab that real quick. Sirach 10 and 12, if I'm not mistaken, or 12 and 10. It's one of them. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 12, I think, and 10. Yeah. You gotta apply the words of the scriptures in order to understand what's going on and to survive. Because the Bible tells us we have enemies. And what does it say in Sirach 12 and 10? It says, never trust thine enemy. And that's what the Gadites did, the so-called Native Americans. That's where they messed up. Because for one, they didn't know that the Edomite was their enemy, but it was all to fulfill biblical prophecy. Okay. But they didn't know that they had enemies because they were in a righteous spirit and treated everyone like friends, because ultimately everyone should be friends. But these people, they were created to be wicked and they always had wicked intentions, right? So never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Okay, so just like iron rusts and, you may rub it away, a little bit of sandpaper or whatever, file it down, it's always going to come back. Okay, rust will eventually come back. Basically, Esau will always show his true colors, that he's the devil and that he'll never change. Okay, let's just read the next scripture real quick. It says, Sirach 12 and 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, right, as they do, they're fake, pretend to be your friends, humbling around you, acting like they're nice people, they're good guys. Don't trust them, man. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Don't be a fool, man. Keep a close eye on these devils, okay? And don't have them too close to you. You keep them at arm's length, high and by. That's it. It says, and thou shalt be unto him, right? If you take good heed and beware of him, basically, it says, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. See, he's still that same old devil. If you watch him closely, just watch his actions, man. The pride, the fact that they shy away from topics dealing with racism. They can't see things the way you see it. You say Black Lives Matter, they say all lives matter, just as an example. That's their rust not being altogether wiped away, because they're still that same old devil and they will never change. Just quickly check the comment board, make sure nobody's commented. Hopefully the sound is coming out clear. Let's go back to that video. Well, actually, let me bring this out real quick. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? He come in with them smooth words, like he's here to help you, crouching and humbling himself, right? But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. He's always seeking war, continually gathered together for war, the scriptures say. All right, let's go back to the video.
That's fine, no problem. Now, let me ask you a question. This is my last question. I appreciate white power. I understand it. Not power. You're in power, so you can't get away from it.
Where?
You have a white president. Are you asleep?
But where though? Where is white power?
Anyway, I appreciate white, you coming together for white interests. Do you think when Trump said let's make this country great again, do you agree with him?
Yes.
Okay, now this is one, I understand it and I applaud you. You should make your country great again. I have one question for you. Where is your country? Now I know Africa belongs to the Africans. They originate from there. Australia belongs to the Aborigines.
Break it down, brother.
That's Latin for native Aborigine.
Break it down. Break it
The
down.
Taino Indians belong in Puerto Rican islands, certain parts of Lower America, Central, South Peru.
That's right.
Where's your country?
No, you want to go.
Colonized. That's why it's a country now.
Okay, so wait, so hold on. Make me understand. I'm a little slow. I didn't go to Georgetown. I'm not saying you went to.
I'm a
but
little slow. I didn't go to college, so we can talk about it. So.
you showed me you were slow 10 minutes ago, to be honest. I'm just joking, of course. So colonization is how you get a country? So who did the Aborigines colonize for Australia?
Are you the only one that talks? Or do these guys talk?
I'm asking you a question, Mr. Runoff man, Mr. Random Off, they lost. He's the one that you have to watch with the liquor, right? Let me guess. He's the one you always say, take it easy, Jeff. Take it easy, Jeff. She said no, Jeff, but she's really feeling me, man. I understand. No, tell me the truth. Just tell me where is your country?
Standing on it.
How?
Through colonization,
Shoot,
struggle, and
what? Describe colonization. Describe it.
Settlement.
Settlement.
We took it. It's
You
settlement.
took it. You are an honest white man.
We fucking
He said, we took it. Hold on, what? He was about to say something else. Hold on, let me run that back. Listen closely to the pride of these devils, man. How wicked can you be, right? How wicked. And they think they're going to get away with that. They think that there's nothing going to come to them for what they've done. They're sadly mistaken. Listen closely to what he says, man.
Shoot, what? Describe colonization. Describe it. Settlement.
We took it. It's
You
settlement.
took it. You are an honest white man.
We fucking took
I
it.
can respect you. You, I cannot.
I'm not gonna.
He said, we effing took it. He said that with pride. He said that with his chest. Okay. They have no remorse, you know. So the Lord ain't gonna have no mercy on them, because they ain't have no mercy or pity on us, man. And that's what the scriptures say. Okay. They got it coming to them, man. And they have no clue.
Liar.
Colonization is that. What are you talking about? We're not
No,
gonna
no.
apologize. We're not gonna apologize.
Speak plainly.
Every
You getting this? You are an gift. What's your name? You're the only person I actually care to know who you
I'm not
are.
gonna
No
give you
problem.
a name, man.
This white man with the beard. You're a perfectly honest white man, and I can respect you.
but every
I can
nation-
respect you because you're honest. Go ahead.
You're talking over me with this.
Go ahead.
Every nation that has ever been built, whatever color, whatever race,
Uh-huh.
people, it's been land that you can fucking take.
Well, let me ask you. Who did the Aborigines take Australia from?
I don't know. I wasn't around.
All right.
I was born in 1987.
Listen, the Lord gave every man his portion, okay? Esau was not satisfied with his portion, so he went around taking everybody else's. That's bottom line. That's what the scriptures say, and that's how it is. Okay? Let's just bring it out, man. Okay? Let's see. A couple good precepts. I want to find a particular one. Here it is. Right? This is Sirach, otherwise known as Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, which is a part of the Holy Bible, the King James Version, which was taken out. Right? Chapter 14, verse 8 says, the envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. And the envious man is Esau Edom. Okay, he has a wicked eye. Okay, very covetous, wicked eye. It says a covetous man's eye, talking about same people, Esau, the nation of Edom, the so-called white man. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion. Now Esau, his portion was Mount Seir, okay, in Petra, in Jordan. That was his portion. But he wasn't satisfied with his portion. He wanted everybody else's. So he went around the world spreading himself like a green bay tree and colonizing, stealing lands he don't belong in, man. It says, and the iniquity of the wicked drive up his soul. Yeah, that's it. You know, he's not satisfied with his portion, man. Bottom line. Okay, let's go back to the video. We're almost done with this video. I've got a few other things I want to show you. But I found this interesting because it just shows the pride and the spirit that Esau's in. And he's doubling down on it to this day. I'm going to show you. He ain't changed. Okay, his rust has not been wiped away. Just like scriptures say, man.
Were you around when your forefathers took America?
No, but they took it and they
But you know about it though.
They took it.
But you know about it though.
They took it.
But you know about it, right?
I'm not
Of
gonna
course.
fucking deny it.
So who did?
So he's saying they took it, and he said something else, which I believe he said something along the lines of made it better, right? Because they think that, you know, them coming to America and stealing the land and, you know, putting McDonald's and highways and concrete jungles everywhere, destroying the environment, you know, digging up, mining the oil and the minerals out of the land and all that. They actually think that they made this place better, okay? Because these people are ungodly, okay? They have no clue what's going on and how to govern the world, how to rule the world. And I want to show you an image real quick, right? Because this speaks volumes right here. Check this out. Let me blow this up. This image speaks volumes. It says, imagine this is the Edomites there when they first took America, right? This is them. This is what they're saying amongst themselves. It says, imagine what we can do with this land, Lewis. And the other guy says, Lewis says, I can almost see it now, Clark. And the picture below is how it ended up. This is literally what they've done with the land, man. An absolute dump, okay? Corporate dump. Capitalism. This is it in a nutshell. Right here, this big old mess. It's disgusting. And they think that this is, when you people see the kingdom of heaven, because you will, okay, you will see the kingdom. Even the Edomites will see it when they're building it up. But when you see the kingdom of heaven compared to, you know, what how Esau is living, it's gonna finally sink in. Because a lot of you just ain't got no vision. You don't understand what's going on, man. You don't understand the potential this world has, okay? Because all you know is what you see. You think this is life. You don't understand the potential this world has, and when it's in the right, you know, when this world is ruled in the right hands, you know, when the rulership is in the right hands of the right people, and that's coming, okay? Because that's what the Bible calls kingdom of heaven, man. You know, F what these people got going on. They don't know how to, they're the basis of man trying to, you know, they've destroyed. Look at, I mean, you could just see it here in this picture. Look at this, a big mess, loud, clamorous, concrete jungle, no animals, no nature. And people call this normality, man.
The Native Indians and the Taino Indians take this land from?
I don't know. They come from Siberia, so you tell me.
They don't come from Siberia. They don't come from Siberia. That's another lie. That's go in the Smithsonian.
But you know, this guy from ISUPK was calling them an honest Edomite earlier. Ain't no Edomites honest. None of them are honest. There are times when they can be honest in certain situations, but as a people, they're not an honest people. Okay, they're liars from the womb. Psalms 58:3. Read it and weep.
Museum and look up the Bat Creek stone that was carved by Native Indians, and it's proven to be ancient Hebrew. Native Indians wear their hair braids just like ancient Hebrews. Yeah, and Glenn Beck brought that out on, I think it was Fox News, and he got sacked for it because he revealed too much. He said too much. They don't want you knowing that. do some digging on the Decalogue stones and the Bat Creek stones and stuff, man.
You know, there's a lot of artifacts proving that the Native Americans were speaking Hebrew, okay? That they were the Hebrews of the Bible, okay? There are people, man.
They rough the shield of David just like ancient Hebrews. They wear fringes on their garments just like ancient Hebrews.
And that's true. They do wear, the Native Americans, the Gadites, they did wear fringes on their garments with a border of blue, just like the Hebrews, just like the Israelites. Okay.
Native Indians are the ancient Hebrews. But that's not my point. My point is, you say let's make our country great again. But you do not have a country. You stole the country. How can an immigrant deport a native? Where's your green card? Where's Donald Trump's green card? Huh? White power? White power? God needs to bathe the streets of America in the blood of the white man. That's the only justice you devils understand.
They don't understand until, until they don't hear, they must feel. Okay. Now, keep in mind he's talking about the white man. He should have said Edomite. See, he needs to get more in the habit of bringing out the biblical nationality, because it ain't all about color. You do have certain people in this world that look like so-called white people that are actually our people, man. Okay, because the spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Lord. You got certain people that you can tell they're a Jake. Okay, Jake short for Jacob. They're Israelites.
Trump, you vote for Trump? I'm gonna vote for Jesus Christ, a black man that gonna cut your goddamn head off.
He said that with passion, but he's going off. Okay, they're still pushing that name Jesus. Okay, which isn't the name of our Lord, man. See, and they should know better because they know his name's Yahushai, and sometimes they push that. But I don't know why they're saying, the J word like that with such pride. That's wickedness. Okay, you should need to be exalting the true name of the Lord. I don't know what they're playing out, what their agenda is, but that was a perfect opportunity to bring out the true name in front of all them people. They've developed a crowd. That name needs to be pushed, but they want to push the name Jesus in the anyway.
Because the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. You want to come up here and talk about colonization? Colonization? White interest is law and order? Where was the law and order for Sitting Bull and Red Cloud? And the battle at Little Big Horn? And at Wounded Knee? You filthy devils!
Yeah, Wounded Knee. That's another topic, because the thing is, it's come out recently that there's a guy that said that, because that was a massacre, but they're trying to call it the battle at Wounded Knee, because Esau talks with a forked tongue. He's full of nothing but deception, and he's out here talking about it was called the Battle of Wounded Knee, not the massacre. It wasn't a massacre. It was a damn massacre. Okay, let's get into it, man. Okay. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, just watch this short video, 3 minutes long, right?
The daily dose.
This video is going to speak a little bit about it, and then we're gonna get further into it, because right now during Trump's administration, these devils are doubling down with their pride, and they're not sorry for what they did, and they're proud to admit that they're not sorry for what they did. Okay, showing you that these people are the devil, man, that the Bible speaks of, man.
Knee. Throughout 1890, the U.S. government worried about the increasing influence at Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota of the Ghost Dance spiritual movement, which taught that Indians had been defeated and confined to reservations because they had angered the gods by abandoning their traditional customs and embracing those of the white man.
And that's what our people did. We abandoned the traditional customs of our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? And then we went a whoring after other gods, man. Okay. And now that we're coming back, It's a threat to Esau Edom, so he's got to make moves. And it's the same thing that happened during the massacre at Wounded Knee. Check it out, man. It lines up perfectly with, you know, the biblical Israelites and the curses that we're under, and the reason why we were put under curses.
Many Lakota believe that if they practiced the ghost dance and rejected the ways of the white man, the gods would create the world anew and destroy all non-believers, including all non-Indians.
See? So non-Israelites and the 2/3 of our people, which are non-believers, we believe that if we practice our customs again and come back to the ways of our Lord, right, that the Lord is going to burn this place with fire and destroy them, man, and give us our world back. And that's exactly what they said that they were practicing. And when Esau Edom, the so-called white man, caught wind of that, that's when he massacred them. All right, it's going to explain it, man. So this just shows you that these people are our people. It's just one example out of many showing you that these were our people, man.
In response, on December 15th, 1890, reservation police tried to arrest Sitting Bull, the famous Lakota chief, who they mistakenly believed was a ghost dancer. When Sitting Bull died in police custody, tensions at Pine Ridge escalated toward war.
Look at the fringes. You know? Look at the fringes on the garments, man. And you got people saying they're not Israelites. I've got a video where the news crew was interviewing some Native Americans on a reservation, and in the background you see a damn chariot flying by because it wanted to be seen. Chariots ain't seen unless they want to be seen. They're letting you know that those are our people. Okay?
On December 29th, the U.S. Army's 7th Cavalry surrounded a band of ghost dancers near Wounded Knee Creek on the Pine Ridge Reservation, demanding that the Lakota, led by Chief Bigfoot, surrender their weapons peacefully. One version of events claims that during the process of disarming the Lakota, a deaf tribesman named Black Coyote was reluctant to give up his rifle, claiming he had paid a lot of money for it. When an American soldier attempted to seize the weapon by force, the rifle went off, prompting the U.S. Army to begin systematically shooting down innocent and mostly disarmed Lakota people. The brutal and quite one-sided massacre took the lives of an estimated 300 Lakota, nearly half of them women and children. For its part, the U.S. Army lost 25 men, with another 39 wounded. The conflict at Wounded Knee was originally referred to as a battle, but in reality it was a tragic and completely avoidable massacre of innocent lives.
See? History, you know, the people that, you know, understand the history, right, that see things really for what it was, they understand it was a massacre. It was not a battle. It was a massacre, okay? Because these people, all they wanted to do was worship their power. You know, they wanted to keep their traditions and customs. But Esau comes along, you know, the enemy cometh like a flood, basically, you know, like they're getting ready to do to us, because we're coming back to our power in these end times. You know, the thing that have been before is the thing that shall be, you know, roughly paraphrasing. That which have been is now. You know, the same thing's getting ready to happen again, because we're coming back to our power, and it's a threat to Esau Edom's kingdom. All this marching and protesting that these 2/3, these unbelievers do, right? Voting, thinking they can vote their way out of this chaos. They're through. They're deluded. They don't understand what's going on. They're delusional as hell. But we're coming up. We're going about things the right way. We have the biggest threat to them, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, man. We understand that our weapons are spiritual, and Esau understands that. It's always been that way. But now that we're coming back to our power, it's a threat to them. So they're getting ready to do the same thing to us as they did then. They're going to come down having great wrath upon us, just like they did there during that massacre at Wounded Knee, man.
Surrounded by heavily armed troops, most historians believe it was highly unlikely that Bigfoot's band would have intentionally picked a fight, while others have speculated that the soldiers of the 7th Cavalry were deliberately taking revenge for the regiment's defeat at Little Bighorn in 1876. Whatever the motives, the massacre ended the Ghost Dance movement and was the last major confrontation in America's deadly war against the Plains Indians. And there you have it, the Wounded Knee Massacre, today on the Daily Dose. If you like learning...
Yeah, so, just a little background history as to the whole situation, right? Because I want to show you something. Show you how Esau feels about this whole situation. Of course, he's not going to have no remorse, right? He's going to double down on his pride and his evil, his wickedness, all right? Because, yeah, I'll just let the video speak for itself. Check this devil, man.
Under the previous administration, a review panel was convened to determine whether soldiers awarded the Medal of Honor for their actions at the Battle of Wounded Knee.
Notice how he says the Battle of Wounded Knee. It was a massacre, you devil. It will always be a massacre, okay? Shameful spewings upon your glory, and you're not going to change that, okay? It's over for you devils. The whole world knows you're the devil. The ones that are a bit slow will know, okay? Especially after what you're getting ready to do according to prophecy, okay? People are going to finally realize who you really are, you devil. It was not a battle, it was a massacre. It was genocide. It was terrorism, you goddamn devil.
Should keep their medals. Now, upon deliberation, that panel concluded that these brave soldiers should, in fact, rightfully keep their medals from actions in 1890. The report...
So, during the previous Biden administration, they questioned whether or not these people should be recognized as brave heroes rather than genocidal, maniac, murderous devils as they are, right? But during the Trump administration, he's now doubling down and saying, no, these people were brave soldiers. They were warriors. They were pioneers. They were brave, and they deserve a Medal of Honor, right? Just like they gave to Barack Obama, thinking that he was a good man and all that. Just showing you the spirit these people are coming into, the spirit these people are in, Salakia. They're wicked as all hell, and if you can't see it, you're a bit slow, man. Lord willing, you'll start to see through lessons like this, okay? Because this is what we do, okay? This is our profession, is to expose the devil for who he is. Because a lot of you you're a bit slow, man.
Was concluded in October of 2024. Yet, despite this clear recommendation, former Secretary Lloyd Austin, for whatever reason, I think we know, he was more interested in being politically correct than historically correct.
No, he was historically correct. Just like that video I just showed you. It was a massacre, you devil, okay? There's no way around it. These people are unbelievable. These are the same people that, just try to justify themselves for the slaughtering and genocide of the Palestinians. Well, he threw a rock, so we bombed their whole country and slaughtered all these babies because they threw a rock at us. That's their whole mindset. The devil. The same people, man.
Chose not to make a final decision. Such careless inaction has allowed for their distinguished recognition to remain in limbo until now. Under my direction, we're making it clear without hesitation that the soldiers who fought in the Battle of Wounded Knee in 1890 will keep their medals.
He said that with pride. Without hesitation, they will keep their medals. See? You're starting to see the devil we're dealing with. Now, this man right here, he's going to be in chains, along with all his friends, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, all of them. They're all going in captivity. Okay? So just, let them double down on their pride. It's only their time is almost up. Okay? It's a ticking time bomb. The justice that everybody wants, because you know everybody wants to see these elites in jail. They're going in jail, all right, and they're going to work very hard to build up our world. Okay, you best believe it. This is what's coming to them, man.
And we're making it clear that they deserve those medals. This decision is now final, and their place in our nation's history is no longer up for debate.
See, they speak with such pride now, and they don't understand, they don't consider the latter end, that they're going to have to, you know, they're going to have to pay for all of this pride.
We salute their memory.
You know, the higher they go, the harder they're going to fall, man. Okay? And these people are lofty and proud as hell. So pride cometh before a fall, man. A haughty spirit before a fall. Okay? These people are about to fall hard like lightning, man. And I cannot wait. Okay? I cannot wait till we slap these people around. I get excited thinking about it. These people are finished.
We honor their service, and we will never forget what they did.
Damn devil. All right? We'll never forget what you did either. Okay? You really think they got, you know, they really think that they're going to be able to get, you know, reverse what the scriptures say. The Lord said shameful spewing will be on their glory. As a matter of fact, let's bring that out, man. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, starting at 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. These people are pompous and proud as hell, lifted up on their high horse, thinking it's always going to be sweet for them. They have no clue. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And we have faith that the Lord's word is true, that these devils are all going into slavery, then extinction, so that we can breathe, so that we can live in peace. Because these people don't know how to live in peace and harmony with other people, other cultures, and nature. These people are anti-nature. They're anti-life. They bring nothing but death. It says it here in the next verse, Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah, also, because he transgresseth by wine, his philosophies and ideologies, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, okay? Always in other people's land, stealing, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. This man is as death. Who else could this be talking about? These people bring nothing but death everywhere they go, through their medicines, through their way of life. You know, everybody's unhealthy, fat, out of shape, lazy, you know, uneducated, got mental health issues, you know, not to mention the genocide this man commits everywhere he goes, because he can't stand anyone with melanin, which melanin is what we're supposed to have. They're abnormal. You're supposed to have melanin to protect you from the sun, otherwise you don't belong here. The hell are you doing here? You know? But the Lord says their time here is only limited. And that's the comfort of these scriptures. That's the good news of the gospel. Okay? That these people are not always going to be amongst us. It says, and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Let's continue. This man can't be satisfied. He can never have enough. Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? How long is he going to keep getting away with this? But luckily, you know, for us of the hopeful elect, we understand what the scriptures say, and we live according to faith. We have the utmost faith that the words of the Lord are true and that this man's time is up. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it with our own eyes, man. That this man's reign of terror on this planet is almost up. And the new earth, the golden age, is coming to you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the biblical Hebrew Israelites, the real JEWs of the Holy Bible. Okay? It says, and woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that laveth himself with thick clay, which is heavy debt. This man's, racked up a lot of debt, even as far as the sins he's committed since Adam or since the serpent. This man has got a hell of a tab to pay, man. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? Everyone is eventually going to wake up to this man. And, like I said, you're a bit slow right now, but you're going to get it. You're going to wake suddenly. Okay? It says, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Spoil. Booties is spoil. They're going to be spoiled just like they spoiled the world, man. That's thus saith the Lord. Okay? Everything they stole, they're going to have to give back and some. We're getting our reparations, but it's not going to be right now. And our reparations is not only going to be the whole world, but it's going to be in blood. Okay? You best believe it. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. So your payback's a bitch, Esau. It says, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. So this is the reason why you're going to get spoiled, man. Robbed of everything you possess. Even your women. They're ours. I'm going to need you to run that. Okay? Esau. Because scriptures say your widows are not going to weep. Those that remain of you are going to be buried in death. And your widow shall not weep, the Bible says. Okay? We're taking your women too. All of that. You're going to have to run that. Run that. Like a man knocked out on the ground, just run his pockets. That's Esau in the near future. About to run your pockets, man. Okay? While you're Sparko. Habakkuk 2:9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And that's Esau in a nutshell. So woe unto these devils, man. They got it coming, and they have no idea. They're proud now. Let them be proud. Let them be puffed up and arrogant, okay? Because it's going to be that much sweeter when you see them get what they deserve, Everyone loves to see a man get what he's got coming to him. The big, every dog has his day. Esau's that dog, and his day is coming, man. It says, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. So Esau's got a stain on his legacy that he'll never get rid of, man. It says, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. Okay, so death and destruction to you that built a city by blood and iniquity. And that's exactly what you did to the Native Americans, the Aborigines, and all the other places that you've colonized and committed genocide as you do. That's your culture, genocide. You have no other culture than that. Maybe a bit of bangers and mash, but that's about it, really. That's as far as it goes. Rape, pedophilia, and robbery, theft. That's your culture, man. Tell me I'm wrong. This is James 5:5. Ye have lived in pleasure on earth and have been wanton. Let's look up that word, just for edification's sake, because I have a rough idea what it means. It says of a wanton, of a cruel or violent action, deliberate and unprovoked, deliberate, willful, malicious, spiteful, vicious, malevolent. What the hell does that sound like? James 5:5. Ye have lived in pleasure on earth, because they were given the fatness of the earth. That was the Esau's blessing. And have been wanton, vicious. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. See? Because all of that, you know, all listen, the Lord is slow to anger. You know, he's very long suffering, man. Okay. And these people have done a lot in this world, man. And they thought because nothing's happened that, you know, they're gonna get away with it, man. Let's see if we can find that. Executed speedily. Yeah, that's the one. That's the search for this before. Just popped right up. Here we go. Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So because Esau Edom hasn't been judged yet for all the wickedness he's done in this earth, he really thinks he's going to get away with it. He thinks he's going to ride off in the sunset, man. But damn, is he sadly mistaken. And that's the beauty of this truth. That's the comfort of this truth, is knowing that there's a happy ending. The dog is going to have his day, man. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Your judgment hasn't come immediately. Therefore, the heart, the mind of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. And that's Esau, man, mainly. You know, all people really. But in this case, we're referring to Esau, man. Because he really thinks he's going to get away with all that he's done in this earth, man. That's why it says here in James 5:5, let's read it again. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and have been wanton, vicious. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. So, you know, all that they've done is just racking up judgment for that final day. They've been fattened up, full of sin and wickedness and pride for their day of destruction, man, which is coming very, very soon, because it's all downhill for them from now on, man. From here on out, it ain't gonna get better. It says, ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. That's even happening to this day. It happened to the Native Americans, you know. They didn't resist, you know, they fought back a little bit in self-defense, but for the most part, they were defenseless, and just, you know, there was no might in their hand. According to the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28, man. No might in our hand. So we just have to accept our fate, you know. We didn't resist. It says, be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth. He have long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. So the Lord has been very patient, you know, with his elect, you know, just waiting for that perfect moment for him to come and gather us. Lord willing, I'll be a part of that number, and you know, bring us out of our captivity, because we are yet this day in our captivity, man. James 5:8. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, your mind. Get your mind right? For the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Okay, the Lord is drawing near. Okay, so get your mind right and be patient, just as the Lord has been patient with us. Okay, because Esau's time is almost up. He knows it, man. This is Ecclesiasticus 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. The kingdom is the rulership of the planet Earth. And right now, Esau, which is their biblical nationality, the Edomites, which is the so-called white man, They the ones that rule the earth right now. Okay, it's very clear to see that if you have any sort of understanding as to what's going on. The Lord deals with nations, and the nation of Edom is in rulership. Okay, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That's 2 Ezra 6 and 9. Read it for yourself. So because of unrighteous dealings, right? How did they get America? Unrighteous dealings. It says injuries and riches got by deceit, by deception. That's the only reason they're in power, is because they went to Africa and all different countries of the world and stole their resources to make themselves rich, make themselves what they call a first world country, which their rightful position is always a third world country, because these people are the basis of all men, and they will never ever be as great as they are right now without, you know, the wealth that they stole from other countries, from brown people's countries, let's just say. Okay, because they ain't getting nothing from their own place, their own countries. They ain't got no minerals. Because the world was given unto the world was meant to be for us. Okay. So all the richest lands is where the brown people reside, man. And Esau has never been happy with his portion. Okay, he's like, I don't want to be the basis of men. I want to be the top dog. Anyway, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So the rulership of this world is getting ready to be translated from them to us. Thus saith the Lord. Okay. Let's bring something out real quick. This is an image I caught wind of recently. Brother Rakaya Kwam from GMS London did a lesson, and he brought this out, and I took a screenshot of it. But this is Matt Walsh, and if you don't know who he is, I'll show you an image or two in just a sec. He's another devil, right? Right wing, you know, devil, MAGA. It says, today we honor Christopher Columbus, right? That devil. The one that apparently discovered America. How you discover a land that was already occupied. That's just the pride and the wickedness and arrogance of these devils, man. Today we honor. There ain't nothing honorable about Christopher Columbus, mate. All right. That shows you how delusional and wicked these people are. Today we honor Christopher Columbus and all of the European pioneers. You mean colonizers, rapers, murderers, and all of the European pioneers who came in his footsteps to claim this land for Christ. See, these are your Christians, man. This is what Christianity is, okay? That's their religion. That's their, you know, Christianity. Give that back to them. It was never ours. Let them have it, okay? Because all you Christians, people want to cleave to Christianity. You're getting ready to get slaughtered, man. The Lord about to bring judgment upon all of you. It says, we celebrate the conquest of civilization over Stone Age savagery. So they say that the Native Americans that were living there were Stone Age savages. That's what they say. That's what he's basically saying, man. See the pride of these devils, the pompous attitude of these creatures. Let's bring out another preset, man, dealing with Esau's pride. Okay, and then we'll go back to that image. Okay. This is Psalms chapter 10 and verse 5. It says, his ways are always grievous. Everything this man does is just grievous, even down to his, you know, you try to watch a YouTube video and he's got shove a damn commercial in your face trying to sell you something. If I want to buy something, I'll go buy it. I don't need you shoving, shoving shit in my face all the damn time, saying buy this, buy that. His ways are always grievous, man, and that's just one small example that just comes to mind. His ways are always grievous. It says, "Thy judgments are far above out of his sight." So the judgments of the Lord are, he's not a righteous ruler, man. He's not a judge of the earth. He covered the faces of the true judges, man. Job 9:24. Okay, the judgments of the Lord are out of his sight because he really thinks he's going to get away with all he's done. He doesn't understand that judgment's coming to him. They really don't understand. They believe in karma until they're at the receiving end of it, and then that's just full of crap. They don't believe in karma anymore. If it involves them receiving karma, they don't want to believe it. The pride of these devils, man. His ways are always grievous. Okay. They're cringy. They're really hard to be around because they just ain't right in the spirit. These people ain't down to earth. They're not in tune with reality and nature. They're just weird. Awkward is the best way I can describe them. Awkward people, man. They're grievous. It says, "Thy judgments are far above out of his sight." It says, "As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them." It's his pride. He just, puffs at his enemies. Okay, let's bring this out again. I think already. Yeah, there we go. Today we honor Christopher Columbus and all of the European pioneers who came in his footsteps to claim this land for Christ. We celebrate the conquest of civilization over Stone Age savagery. You hear that, Gad? You so-called Native Americans, you're Stone Age savages in the white man's eyes. The so-called white man, he thinks you're Stone Age savages, and he made you great. He civilized you. Okay, he showed you how to invent a wheel and make fire. It's laughable, man. It says, "We recommit ourselves to defend civilization against the forces of chaos and barbarism that threaten it today." See? Because we're just nothing but people of chaos and barbarism. We're barbaric. Ain't nothing more barbaric than going to somebody's land and wiping out the buffalo. Burning people alive and ripping their babies out their stomach and kicking it around like a football, burying toddlers in the sand on the beach and having competitions who could kick their head off the hardest on horseback. That's you. That's your history. That's your culture. Barbaric. Okay? Talk about savagery and barbarism. That's you. Freaking man. The day is coming, man. It's all good. Let them have their fun. The triumphing of the wicked is short. It says Happy Columbus Day, man. To hell with Columbus, man. F him and all of you people that believe in and stand for him, man. Okay? To hell with all of you devils, man. At the end of the day, we ain't gonna shed a tear when the Lord starts slaughtering you. Right? There was another precept I wanted to bring out. I'll just slipped my mind. Lord willing, it'll come back to me. Anyway, let me show you. Check this out. You'll find this interesting. I actually came across this today, and I had to repost it on Instagram because this is just one of them videos that people need to see. It's short, straight to the point. But the guy, he brought out some good points. Check this out.
We at a bookstore right now. Y'all not finna believe this. 500 nations. Let's open it up. The Spaniards made bets as to who would slit a man into two, or cut off his head at one blow. Or they opened up his bowels. They tore the babies from their mother's breasts by their feet, and dashed their heads against the rocks.
Did you hear that? Let me reread that for you. They tore the babies from their mothers' breasts, right? Breastfeeding sucklings, little, babies that give suck, right? Toddlers. They tore the babies from their mothers' breasts by the feet and dashed their heads against the rocks. And they want to call us barbaric savages, man. You see what we're dealing with here. You see how backwards they are, right? But they really think they're going to get away with that. We'll come back to this. I want to show you something real quick, right? Because a lot of you may not have known the scriptures say this. Let's bring it out, okay? Check this. Check this. Check this. There we go. Start at verse 7. This is Psalms 137, starting at 7. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom, right? The so-called white man, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. Okay, that's talking about the siege of Jerusalem, when they stole our land, ran us out, and we had to flee into Egypt. They said, race it, right? Burn it down to the ground, erase it, right? It says, Psalms 137 and 8, it says, O daughter of Babylon, right? Showing you that the people of America, the daughter of Babylon, is synonymous with the Edomites, Esau. So when we say that Babylon will be destroyed, it's basically saying that the Edomites are going to be destroyed. And when we say that the Edomites are going to be destroyed, that's synonymous with Babylon being destroyed, man. Because that's where they rule the world from. The America, aka Babylon the Great, is the beehive of the world, the hammer of the earth. So the daughter of Babylon is going to be destroyed. It says, who art to be destroyed? Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So what you did to us is getting ready to come back on you. And it says, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So we're going to take great pleasure and joy in repaying you for all the things that you've done to us. Okay, when the Lord gives that green light upon his return. Okay, I'm not saying for any of you to go out and commit acts of violence right now. That's not our lot right now. Okay, but when the Lord comes and we get changed into them bodies, then the fishers are going to be turned into hunters, the Bible says. Okay, so just be patient, man. Their day is coming. It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Why would it say that in the Bible? And why would it say, happy shall he be? I'll show you why, right? Because this is exactly what they did to us.
Right now. Y'all not finna.
This is exactly what they did to us. Let's let him read it again. Let's start from, start from here. Listen.
The Spaniards made bets as to who would slit a man into two, or cut off his head at one blow, or they opened up his bowels. They tore the babies from their mother's breasts by their feet and dashed their heads against the rocks.
Did you hear that? They took the babies by their feet from the mother's breasts while they were breastfeeding, basically. And they smashed them against the stones by their feet. Happy shall he be that reward you as you did us. Your day is coming, Esau. You have no clue, man. So little Billy, little Susie, little Becky, little Megan, take a good look at them. Kiss them on their forehead, stroke their hair, and just understand that the same thing you did to us is getting ready to come to you, man. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Scriptures, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Your day is coming, okay? And just understand when it comes that it was justice. It's just, okay? It's a righteous thing to repay, repay them for what they've done to us, man. It's a righteous thing with the Lord, okay?
They spitted the bodies of other babes together with their mothers and all who were before them on their swords. They hanged in.
What? They spitted the bodies of other babes together with their mothers and all who were before them on their swords. Bro, these people are wicked, man. They gotta go.
And by 13s in honor and reverence for our Redeemer and the 12 apostles. They put wood underneath, and with fire they burned the Indians alive. I saw all the above things. All these did my own eyes witness.
Bro. And our people wanna, hold hand in hand with these people, man. And some will say that was the past, that wasn't me, that wasn't our, whatever. I don't want to hear all that, because what does the scripture say? Let's read it. Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. See? You can't pollute the land with blood, steal someone's land with blood, because it defiles the land. It says, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So Esau, your blood is about to be shed. You can't get around it. This is thus saith the Lord. It says that defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, therein wherein I dwell. For I, Yahweh, dwell among the children of Israel. See? Because Joel 2:27 says he's the Lord our God and none else. He's our God, our power. He's not the God of these other nations. They have their gods. They have Buddha, they have Allah, they have Krishna, they have all these bugged out gods. And leave the Edomites to worship Jesus. That's their God that was forced upon us during slavery, man. Our God, our powers are Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, man. And anybody that don't believe that, yeah, well, let's just see how that works out for you in the near future, okay? Because you'll find out. You're gonna find out the hard way, okay? So because you shed blood in our land, in America, you shed our blood. That's getting ready to come back upon you, man. That's getting ready to come out back upon you really hard, man. This is Ezekiel 35:1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Now, this isn't saying that we should set our face against a mountain, because there is a place called Mount Seir. But this is the parabolic language. This is speaking about the children of Mount Seir, the Edomites, the original inhabitants of Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, right? It says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. How is the Lord against an actual mountain? How is he talking about a mountain, Mount Seir? He isn't. He's talking about the Edomites. He says, behold, O Mount Seir, you Edomites, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Because right now they're winning. They seems like everything's going well for them, right? It's just I'm gonna jump back to that. I think I remember the preset I was going to bring up earlier. Try I think That's how you spell it. Triumphing of the wicked. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. Yeah. This is Job 20 and verse 5. It says, no, actually, hold on. Start at 4. It's like, yeah. Job 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth? That the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Because these people are big hypocrites, man. It's one thing for them, another thing for us, okay? You know, karma is okay when it's not them receiving it. They're hypocrites. But they're triumphing right now. But the triumphing of these people, the wicked, is short. You know, it seems like they've been getting away with all that they've gotten away with for so long. But you got to remember, a day to the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as a day. Time is not the same in the Lord's eyes as it is in our eyes. It seems like this man has been, triumphing as long as we've known him. But that's really a short season. It's only been like 2 days or something. Okay. It says the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite, same people, but for a moment. Because their day is coming, man. Let's read on, because there's more meat on this. I love the book of Job, man. Especially chapter 21 and chapter 31. It says, or it could be 30. It speaks about how they came from the caves, bringing out their true history that they like to hide. Job 20 and 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head, pride, reacheth unto the clouds, pompous and arrogant as hell, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Who else could this be talking about? The villain, the problem, the toxic, narcissistic family member that, the world will, the family will be tighter and more close knit if this cancer gets cut out, let's just say, just as an example. This man got to go. It says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. It's all going to feel like it was just a bad dream. Because you got to understand, the kingdom of heaven is an eternal kingdom, man. It's a forever kingdom. So 1 billion years from now, are we going to really be thinking about this man, this pasty cracker? Are we going to be thinking about him 1 billion years from now? No. We're going to be too busy having fun, turning up. We're going to be, hey, the kingdom going to be lit. One day in thy courts is better than 1,000. The scriptures say one day basically in the kingdom of heaven is better than 1,000 of your best days here on earth, man. You really think we're going to be thinking about Esau 1,000 years, 1 billion, even 20 years after they're gone, man? We ain't even going to be thinking about him like that. We're going to be too busy having fun while he's out of here. And the only time we're going to be thinking about him is when we come together as a holiday, for a holiday, as to when the day we burn them in the pit, because they're going to be gathered in the pit and burned. Okay. And that's going to be a holiday. And we're always going to be celebrating. It's like Esau celebrates Christmas. He goes hard for Christmas. We're going to go, we ain't having no Christmas. Our Christmas is going to be the day these devils get wiped out of this earth, man. That's going to be the day that we're going to really turn up, man. Okay. Annually. We're going to turn up on that day. We're forever going to remember that day. Job 20 and 9. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more. Neither shall his place any more behold him. See? Because they're never ever going to be in rulership again. And on top of that, they're never even going to be in our presence again. We're never going to have to see them again, walking their dogs past our kitchen window We're not going to have to see them again, man. Okay? And that's the beauty of the kingdom of heaven, man. It says his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. See? Because they're going into slavery. And they're gonna do nothing but please us, okay? Because if there's anything less than that, they're gonna get beat. Okay. Okay, they're gonna be pleasing the poor. But we're not gonna be poor, okay? Because ultimately this is talking about now, because you got them, fighting for our cause, marching in Black Lives Matter rallies and all that, all over TikTok, making their own tongue fall upon themselves. That's just them. That's just white guilt, man. Scripture said that shameful spewing shall be on their glory, that shame will cover them, and then they're going to be cut off forever. Okay, according to the book of Obadiah, man. So shame is covering them. That's why they're seeking to please us. We're the poor. And they're going to restore our goods. It says in Job 20:11, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, back from when he was a serpent in the garden, man. Back when he was Cain. They've racked up a heavy debt, thick clay, when it comes to their wickedness and their iniquity, their sins. They've got a lot of wickedness that they haven't paid for. They've racked up a hell of a debt, man. It says his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. See? They've got a legacy that they're never going to get rid of, okay? It's forever going to be with them, and they're going to take that legacy to the grave, man. The things they've done in this earth, man. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. Because they got a forked tongue. They always speak like they're trying to fix the world. They're trying to fight global warming. We're trying to do this, do that. They're just wicked, but they hide it under their tongue, man. Their forked tongue, their policies and this and that. It says, though he spare it and forsake it not, but still keep it within his mouth. See? Because they're always going to be wicked. That rust is never going to be wiped away. It says, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It's the gall of asps within him. It says, he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. I love these scriptures when you read it with understanding, man. F Christianity, okay? Christianity don't make you feel like this. Christianity don't break down these scriptures in the right way to give you life, to give you that living water, not that stagnant, polluted pond water that they got going on over there, man. That don't make you feel good. That makes you worse, make you sick. He shall suck the poison of asps. It says the viper's tongue shall slay him. It says he shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. Meaning he ain't going to enjoy the kingdom, okay? That land of milk and honey, the fatness of the earth, that's for us, okay? Esau, you got the short end of the straw, buddy. You ain't getting that birthright back. I don't care about your digital ID, your MOTB, mark of the beat. I don't care about all that. You ain't getting your birthright back. You're through. Okay? The world's had enough of you. Sick of seeing you. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore. When he went around stealing everybody's stuff. He labored himself in wickedness and theft. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance, meaning everything he stole, shall the restitution be. According to his substance shall the restitution be. So he's going to have to restore. That's his restitution, restoration, basically, right? Everything he stole, he's going to have to restore, man. It says, and he shall not rejoice therein. You think he's going to be happy about handing over? He don't even want to give you reparations, man. He don't even want to give you crumbs, because that's what our people are asking for as far as reparations go. That don't even come close to what he owes us. But our people are happy with just crumbs. Our people just want equality. He don't even want to give you that. He don't want to give you the crumbs. But we're gonna take everything he owns, man. Okay, our our reparations are coming. Okay, not in the way that our people are hoping for, but they're coming nonetheless, man. And he ain't gonna rejoice. It says, Job 20:19, because he have oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away an house which he builded not. So how did he get America? Did he get it right? Did he was he given America? It says, because he have violently taken away a house which he builded not. It says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. So they can't enjoy, what they stole the way they would like to, because shameful spewings upon their glory. They're full of shame for glory because of what they did, how they got their position. They didn't get it righteously. They're not the rightful rulers of the earth. And they're not gonna, it's not gonna end well for them, man. And they really don't see what's coming. And it's beautiful that they don't. Because when it sneaks up on them and catches them off guard, it's gonna be sweet for us that know what's going on to behold that. The scriptures say that there be 9 things which I have seen to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, something like that, roughly paraphrasing. It says, a man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Oh, I want to be all over the place, man. I'm roughly paraphrasing, but the scriptures say it's a beautiful thing, just as beautiful as seeing our children grow up. It is beautiful. It's just as beautiful to see the fall of our enemy. And Esau has been our number 1 enemy from the beginning, man. Read Psalms 83, starting at verse 1. Okay. Read Deuteronomy 20:28 and 68. Read Nehemiah 5 and 9. It quite clearly states that they're our enemy, man. It says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, right? It says, he shall not save of that which he desired, meaning their new world order. They're not going to be able to ride off in the sunset and microchip you all up and enslave the whole world. You think the Lord created a world for them to get away with that? These people are delusional. They're children of fools, the Bible says. Now, it seems like they're winning. Remember, the scripture said the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. They're in their joy right now because they're getting away with everything that they're planning. Their Agenda 2030 and and their NWO agenda, their plan to microchip you all up with their digital ID and their chip and all that. Let them do what they got to do, man, because it's already written what's gonna be, how that's gonna turn out. It's already written, okay? The just shall live by his faith. We have the utmost faith that this man ain't gonna succeed, all right? So just laugh at him when he think. Just watch him. Sit back and watch him with his pride, thinking he's gonna get away with all of this. Man, it's a joke thing. It's funny as hell watching him thinking he's gonna win. There's a blast from the past. What's up? Hey, Shalom. Cooking with Blaze. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, bro. How you been? All right? Hopefully you're doing good. Shalom. How about Shimi Yahushai Barakatah? It says, right, who was the first nation listed in Psalms 83, the crafty counsel? Hey, that's right, man. Just like I was speaking about, the first nation is the nation of Edom. The nation of Edom, man. Yeah, Shalom, bro. Atazawam, hopeful elect, 144, Shalom. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah, the water for joining my live. Good to see you too. The first nation, read it for yourself, you people out there that might be watching this that don't know. All right. But our number one enemy is Esau Edom, man. He's at the top of the list when you read Psalms 83, starting at verse 1. Okay. And they took crafty counsel against us to make sure that we don't remember who we are. Because, like I said, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. And us coming back to the Lord, that's a weapon. That's how we're going to defeat this devil. All this marching, voting, thinking you're going to pick up arms to fight against Esau and his military, you're foolish. Okay? It's a spiritual battle we're in, man. The Lord is going to do the heavy lifting. We just got to make sure we're clean in his sight when he comes, man. You know, all we really got to do is get our garments ready for the wedding. That's it. Bid our people to the marriage. Make sure our garments are clean so they're not, when the Lord arrives, we're not wearing strange apparel. Okay, it's all spiritual, man. That's all we got to do is be patient and wait on the Lord. He will rise up to the prey, right? Atazawam hopeful elect 144. This is Psalms 140 and 8. It says, "Grant not, O Yahweh, the desires of the wicked," which he won't. That's the beauty of it, okay? Because we already know what's written, man. The Lord has set the bounds that he cannot pass. He's gonna disappoint the disappointeth the. It says he disappointeth the devices. He disappointeth their enterprise, the devices of the wicked, so that they cannot perform their enterprise. Roughly paraphrasing, right? It says that in the book of Job somewhere. I forget this precept. But grant not, O Yahweh, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. Selah. And the beauty of it is that prayer is answered, man. King David's prayer is answered because that's exactly what's going to happen. The Lord is going to intervene and fight on our behalf, man. Okay, it's beautiful. You really don't understand how privileged we are to be in this, you know, in this knowledge, in this truth, in these last days, man. This is the safest place to be. You know, the name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. We're safe, you know, as long as we, you know, don't take our hand off the plow and we make our calling and election sure to the best of our ability. You know, whatever office the Lord gave you, hey, run with it, man. Go hard, okay? Hey, Thawada, man. Thawada, you're on point, man. I appreciate that. That's nice. Because this is, you know, I was quoting it earlier, but this is the precept I was referring to, man. Okay, beautiful. Job chapter 5 and verse 12, it says, "He disappointeth the devices of the crafty." That's the Edomite. They're crafty as hell, man. Because it's a very crafty thing for them to, you know, and it's a well thought up plan. The heart is deep, but it's a well thought up plan of them to, you know, develop a microchip which runs off of AI and internet technology and all of the technology. This is the time. It's ripe and ready for this technology to take place. So they're going to enslave the whole world through their digital currency, man, which they're going to put on a microchip, which, you know, is going to be lodged in your body to where you can be tracked, and all your transactions, all your medical records, all your social media posts, every move you make in this world is going to be tracked and traced. That's very crafty, man. And it's well thought up. And it seems like they're going to get away with it. But the Lord is only going to allow it to happen for a certain period of time as a test to see who fails that test and who passes that test. You've got a lot of false prophets out there calling themselves Hebrew Israelites that are leading their flock astray, saying it's, you know, making mockery of us, saying it's not the microchip. And they got a lot of blood on their hands. And any of you fools that believe them, or even if you're, you know, you believe us, but you in the back of the mind, you saying, what if Nate is right? You know, what if these other camps are right and it's not the microchip? You're going to lean on that when you're hungry. I promise you, that's going to be a hell of a temptation that you're not going to be able to fight, because you're going to lean, when your stomach is touching your back, you're going to say, maybe it's not the chip. F it, I'm going to take it. I'm hungry. So let me read that again, right? Job 5:12, it says, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. See, they're not going to get away with it, man. The Lord is going to disappoint them, stop them dead in their tracks, but only after a certain amount of people get chipped up. So we just have to hold on, because, you know, us having the knowledge and understanding as to what's going on, we know how to, you know, maneuver ourselves in these days we're coming into. We know what we're meant to do. You know, the scriptures say in Isaiah 33:6, I believe, that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. So having the knowledge as to what's really going on, the 100% truth, that's what's going to make you stable in these end times, and that's what's going to be the strength of your salvation. Okay, you're going to need that. So this is Itazawam, hopeful elect 144, Psalms 21:11. It says, for they intended evil against thee, they imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. Goes hand in hand with Job 5:12. That's perfect. Perfect precept, man. You know, brother's on fire, man. And for you people out there watching, hey, take heed. These are gems we're dropping, you know. And this is what you're going, this is the knowledge you're going to need to get through the days we're coming into. For they intended evil against thee. They wanted to enslave the whole of humanity with their digital system. It says they imagined a mischievous device, crafty, right? Which they are not able to perform, because the Lord is going to stop them dead in their tracks. He's going to disappoint them. It's going to be beautiful too. It's going to be a Kodak moment. Rip them out them bunkers. Turn into hunters, man. This is Atazawam, hopeful elect 144, Sirach 16 and 13. It says, the sinner shall not escape with his spoils, and the patience of the godly shall not be frustrate. See, hey, the Lord's got us, man. All you gotta do is be patient and wait on the Lord, man. Okay, don't listen to these people that say you gotta take actions, take vengeance into your own hand, man. Because the sinner shall not escape with his spoils. Okay, that's Esau, man. This is Revelations 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Beautiful precept, man. It says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, right? Which is when they start chipping you all up. The Lord is going to keep you from that, right? Those that kept the word of his patience, keep in mind, not all of you. So it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, it says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, because this is going to be an hour of temptation, man. You're going to be tempted to take that chip when your stomach is touching your back, man, when you're hungry. Because he's going to cause of all, okay? It's going to be mandatory, and he's going to make life very hard for you if you don't. So he's going to cause you all to take it, man. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. See, it's going to be a worldwide thing, man. Beautiful, beautiful, man. Man's on fire. Let's see. Proverbs 1:3, it says, to receive the instruction of the wisdom, justice and judgment and equity. Verse 4, it says to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. That's right, man. Verse 5, it says, a wise man will hear and will increase in learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. beautiful, man. Because you know, a wise man will hear this. You know, it won't be entertainment to them. They won't watch our videos and say, "Oh, that's music to my ears." You know, one that can play. You know, one that has a lovely voice that can play well on an instrument. The scriptures say, you know, they hear us, but they don't soak it in. A wise man will hear us and will increase in learning. It says, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. So they're gonna soak it in, man, and they're gonna, you know, it's gonna have an effect on them. They're gonna take action. If you're a wise man. Verse 6, it says, to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. Verse 7, it says, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And that's all we pour out, man. Rivers of living water flowing out of our belly, okay? So, you know, fools are the ones that despise the wisdom that we're given, man. Because you're going to see it come to pass. You're going to see them push that microchip and enslave the whole of humanity. You know? That's beautiful precepts. Ask the water for that. Let me see what else I got. I think I'm about to wrap it up. Let me show you this one video real quick, because the world is getting fed up at Esau, right? And I came across this video yesterday, I think it was. I just want to, I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute. I just want to show you this. Let's make it full screen. Check this video out, man, because this is Elam going in on Esau. All the nations are fed up of Esau, man, because the whole creation groaneth, you know, and they're waiting for the manifestation of the sons of the Lord, man. You know, the sons of, you know, the elect, basically. They're waiting for the elect to rule, man, whether they realize it or not, whether they're conscious of it or not. They're all waiting for this man, this so-called white man, to be taken out of power. This proud, pompous, this guy here, the devil, as an example, you know, that's this guy here is the one that I was showing you, that Matt Walsh, that's his name. He's the one that said this earlier, that today we honor Christopher Columbus and all of the European pioneers who came in his footsteps to claim this land for Christ. We celebrate the conquest of civilization over Stone Age savagery. So they say that you Native Americans were Stone Age and savages, and that they civilized you, right? It says, and we recommit ourselves to defend civilization against the forces of chaos and barbarism. They call you the forces of chaos and that you're barbaric, right? And like I said, that's this guy. Look at it. Just go take a good look at him, man. These are the people that rule over us. But you know, only for the time being. Their time is coming, and the world is fed up with them, man.
I mean, it's interesting that you people from the United States, when you have so much muck behind your back, from the wiping out of the entire race of Native Americans, and you Europeans having wiped out almost more than half of world's population across from Australia in Africa to America, now just like, you know, putting your neck deep into other people's history and also not being scientific about it, actually. For example, you said you estimated 15 temples or a dozen or something like that. Have you done a scientific survey, archaeological survey of every site possible which has already been dug out or not? And this is, can a genocidal, descendant of a genocidal people sit as a judge? Is that moral or fact? Yes, that nation stands on the dead bodies of Native Americans. What right does she have to come here and poke her nose into our history? No, what? Be fair, be fair, be fair, be fair. Have just, is this justice? Is this morality? Is this ethics?
Let him cook, man. Let Elam cook. his curry, his curry. Let him cook his curry. Oh, the Elam, bless them. They'll be corrected soon, and they're gonna live happily ever after. You know, under the they're gonna be tributaries to the Israelites, but they're gonna be living good. You know, the scriptures say the kings of the earth lie in glory. You know, all of them lie in glory in their house. So they're gonna be sweet when we're ruling. They're gonna be better than they are now. You know, China, the Moabites, they building up some nice cities full of technology. Japan and China, man, they're killing it, making Esau look stupid. That's why he wanted to clean up DC all of a sudden, because Moab making Trump look bad. But you know, as well as Moab is doing, they're gonna be doing better in the kingdom under our rulership. You know, but they still gonna be under us and serving us, man. This is Atazawam Hopeful Elect 144, Romans 8 and 19 for the earth. This is exactly what I was speaking about earlier. You on point, bro. I appreciate that. This is what I was saying, because the whole world is waiting for the Israelites to rule. Okay, even Elam going off on that Edomite woman. She was proud too. She didn't want to hear it, even though he's spitting facts. It says Romans 8 and 19, for the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. You know, because the nations of people are split into three categories. You have the sons of the wicked, the sons of, you know, quote unquote God, and the sons of men, right? The sons of the wicked is the so-called white man. The sons of God are the Israelites, and the sons of men are the other heathen nation. But they're all the creatures, all the nations of the world are waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God, meaning the elect of Israel to come into rulership, man. They're waiting for that. Whether they're conscious of it or not, the whole world is groaning under the rulership of Esau Edom. This is Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 24. It says, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. That's a good precept. It says, and a wise king is the upholding of the people. See? Because these people aren't wise in the way they're ruling the earth, man. But the men of wisdom are the ones that are getting ready to come into rulership in the new earth. The Lord is saving the best for last. He's letting this ghetto run its course. This slum, this freak show that Esau's running, it's going to run its course. It's almost up. And then comes the kingdom of heaven. The Lord is going to bring out his treasure. He's going to bring out his, save the best for last, so to speak, right? Beautiful, man. It says, Altazawam Hopeful Elect says, 144 says, they have a thing called manifest destiny, the slogan of Esau. That's right. That's right, they do. It's Hebrews 10 and 36. It says, ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. Yep. Verse 37, it says, for yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. And that's Yahushua, man. Okay, the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, yet a little while, the Lord is coming, and he's not going to tarry. He's going to take this devil right out of rulership, man. Pick him up by his leg like Hulk and just slam him about. Metaphorically speaking. This is Psalms 82 and 5. It says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. It says, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. You can't make this up. Who else is this speaking about? Everything in this world is backwards and out of course, man. When you got women, when you got men in the women's locker room and competing in women's sports, and they call that normal, that's just one example. But literally everything that exists, they've messed up. They haven't left a stone unturned, down to the air, the food. You look out your window every day and you see nothing but streaks going across the sky. where they're trying to block out the beautiful blue sky that the Lord created. They block it out with their dirty chemtrails. It's all out of course, man. It's polluted. You know, that's why the whole creation is groaning into this day, waiting for the sons of God, the sons of our power, man, to rule the earth. You know, and that is going to happen. The Lord is going to set up one that's profitable. Okay. See, I think let me see if I've got precepts on. Yeah, there is another one or two I wanted to bring up. Check this out. This is Ezekiel 35:4. I don't think I finished this earlier. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, because Esau was allowed to build, but the Lord is going to throw it all down. And he's going to lay his cities waste, you know, his Big Ben, his Statue of Liberty, his Eiffel Towers, you know, in Rio, is it Rio de Janeiro? They got the statue of Jesus, that big ass overgrown statue of that devil. Yeah, man. And we're going to throw their cities down and all their idols, man. It says, and I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Right? It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, a never-ending hatred, that means, right? Because they will never like us. It don't matter how much you put on a suit and tie, slick your hair to the side, perm your hair, wear a weave, you know, a blonde wig at that, talk like them, make them feel comfortable, tiptoe around them on eggshells. It don't matter how much you do all that, they ain't never gonna like you. It don't matter how civilized you try to become and rich you become, you're still nigger, like Jay-Z said, yeah? It says, and because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. It says, therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith, meaning since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee, because they love blood. They're a bloodthirsty nation of people. What did they do when they went to the shores of America and to the Aborigines and to the Tasmanians, you know, of Australia? What did they do? They've shed a lot of blood, man, in this world. Okay, too much, and they're gonna pay for that. So since they love blood, blood is gonna pursue them, man, because they have not hated blood. Karma, baby. That's what some people call it. Karma, baby. It says, thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate. See, just like we said, it's not talking about an actual mountain. It's talking about the people of Edom, the Edomites. He's gonna make them desolate. He says, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. Hey, Christians, does that sound like, you know, sweet white Jesus? Does that sound like a loving God is all love? He just loves everybody. He getting ready to get busy. He's gonna catch bodies on bodies. All right. It says, I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return. You ain't even gonna see that architecture in this world anymore, man. Because the kingdom of heaven is not going to be built up like Washington, D.C., the satanic pentagram and all that. When you look at the map of Washington, D.C., it's full of satanic symbolism, man. You ain't going to have that in the kingdom. So their cities are not going to return. It says, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Because the Lord has had enough of you. You've served your purpose, and now we have no use for you in this world anymore. It says, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it. Whereas Yahweh was there. So they possess the northern and southern kingdom. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. See? So we're all going to return to our Lord in the end, man. Live happily ever after. And the Lord is going to judge you devils, man. You're going to have to drink that cup. I'm going to leave that there. I think I'm going to close it out now. Let's read a couple more of these on the comment board. And then I'm going to close it out. Oops. So, yeah. Atazawam, hopeful elect 144. This Revelations 11 and 18. It says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. See, because this is right now, we're leading up to this time that the Bible is speaking about here, because the nations are angry, but they ain't half as angry as they're about to be, because things are about to get really ugly, and they're going to be looking for answers, man. What, you know? So right now you have uproars of the people, but you just wait. It says the nations are angry, and thy wrath is come, the wrath of the Lord. This is talking about the day of the Lord, man. It says in the time of the dead that they should be judged, because you know the dead in Yahushua are going to be raised first. It says that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets. That's right. Yeah, man. So, you know, it's going to pay off in the end, us doing this work, man. That tells a one, hopefully elect 144. Isaiah 34 and 8 says, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. So, yeah, man. You know, the Lord is going to recompense, you know, unto them what they've done to us, man. That's the day of the Lord. That's near upon all the heathen. Read the book of Obadiah, man. So you know, the triumphing of the wicked is short. Let them have their fun. Let them double down on their pride as they're doing, but just sit back and eat your popcorn, so to speak, because time is ticking. Okay, it's almost over. It's almost over. Their day is come, man. Their day is coming. The Lord shall laugh at them, for he seeth that their day is coming. Hey, the water for the precepts. Barakatah for that, man. And I'm going to close out here, though. And Lord willing, you've been edified by this lesson, all right? I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Shalom.